The next Minecraft update is coming soon. Hello there, Ray here, and we got a brand new update today, 1.21.5 pre-release 2. And if you guys don't remember, first they will come out with snapshots of new stuff in the game, then they'll come out with these pre-releases, and during this pre-release phase, they won't come out with really any major new features, but instead will fix the bugs they accidentally introduced when making the features during the snapshots. And then once the pre-releases seem stable, then they're going to come out with the release candidates. These are versions of the game where they essentially are like a full release of the game, except they're just making sure that they fix every possible problem. So during the release candidates, if we notice any more problems after that, and if they're pretty major, they will come out with new release candidates until they fix all the major problems. And then after all of that, they will finally come out with the full release of 1.21.5. Now, we don't know the exact full release version of the next Minecraft update, but seeing as the Minecraft Live is going to be on the 22nd of March, we'll probably continue to get these pre-releases for the 10 days prior to that Minecraft Live event. And then during that event, they'll probably tell us when the full release will be, which will probably be the week after, as the end of March is considered spring break, and that's when people get some time off from school or work. So it makes sense that they release a version during this time so people actually have time to play it, and is probably why they're doing their second Minecraft Live event during the same period. And all the farms you see behind me, these are actually all the new playerless farms coming out in the next version. Now, even though the Java Edition's pre-release wasn't too interesting, with the notable changes being that they allow numbers to work once again when it comes in cases of Boolean, some changes to network protocol, including fixes to several crashes with the second pre-release, and several bug fixes, with the main focus on the previous week's new game rule, so TNT will work properly when it's turned off. Which did include one rare, that is, if you would update your world into the snapshot, it's possible for the logs that get generated with the forest to come in and place themselves in, and in doing so they would replace part of the tall plants like the ferns and grasses, but they wouldn't actually update and remove the top piece, so you get these weird glitched out upper pieces of the fern as well as the grass on top of the log. But like all previous versions in Minecraft, I will be doing a video covering all the things you should do before updating to the next Minecraft version, including collecting rares and taking advantage of certain tricks. So make sure you have subscribed and have that bell notification set to all so you don't miss out on that video. But there is an interesting feature that will be coming to the Java Edition, which is a weird feature called Player Locator. It's currently out in Bedrock Edition, so we can go ahead and test it out and see how it works. And you can find it in experiments when starting a new world. Just make sure to turn this on. Okay, let's give this a try. I got my alt account on and my main account. You can see right away there's this bar down here where my XP bar is. When I rotate it, it always has the little colored dot towards the player. And if I go into survival mode, you can see this sets right underneath of your health and your hunger, right where your XP bar would normally be. So this locator bar will always point you to other players on your server. And they probably add this because Bedrock Edition doesn't have access to coordinates like Java Edition. So when one player is like, hey, come join me in this one location, the other player is like, where the heck are you? Because there's no way to kind of tell you where you're actually at in the game, other than if you like start at spawn point or you start at the single like nether portal and you work your way to the location. This way you can actually find other players on their server. Now you can see the indicator only shows the player when you're facing the direction the player is at. So if you turn any other direction, it's not going to show you where it's at. So you can just do like a little 360. You can kind of figure out how many players are around you. Now the farther you get away from the player, the fainter the dot gets. So you can see the dot's really hard to see. And the player is over there by that big tree right there. Pretty much when you get out of normal range of viewing, it looks like the player is pretty much not going to be able to be seen on your bar. But I'm pretty sure people make modded clients that can take advantage of this detector thing and detect players from like infinite distances. But they did say that we can turn this off in server settings. They just haven't implemented it yet. And it sounds like when they add to Java Edition, this feature will be added along with it. I already broke the game using the locator bar just by teleporting too far away. You do have to be sort of close in order for you to kind of see the dot to start with. And you can see there is an arrow that'll show you if you're like above the player. That's one saying like, hey, the player is below you, in case the player is like underground. Or if you're underground, then it will tell you that the player is above you too. So that's helpful. Now there is a couple ways you can prevent players from using this to detect you. Besides turning off totally on the server settings, you can also individually hide yourself. Now there is 3 ways you can hide yourself from other players, and the first way is the carved pumpkin. So recently they added it so that carved pumpkins will hide you on maps if you happen to be holding a map that the other player is also holding. But now wearing a carved pumpkin will also hide your dot from other players. Now the second way you can hide yourself is by drinking an invisibility potion. This does cost a little bit, but at least you don't have that pumpkin on your head. And while wearing the pumpkin, you also can't wear a helmet, so it does make you a little bit weaker armor-wise if you're actually trying to go into combat. But of course, if you have invisibility, then you're definitely not going to be wearing any armor. Otherwise, the player could see your armor, because anything that you're wearing with invisibility will still show up. And the third way you don't show up on the locator bar is just by crouching. Now this makes you move really slowly, and it's really annoying. Let's say you want to do something like type, you'd have to uncrouch in order to type. But in Java Edition, we have the options in our controls to actually turn on toggle crouching so that you could just hit your sneak button and your player will stay sneaking all the time, no matter what you're doing. But I don't see this setting in the Bedrock Edition. At least we do have some options to try to like hide yourself, especially if you're like trying to play a prank on somebody. Of course, if you're doing something more like PvP, you want to be disguised all the time. But the weirdest part about this whole locator thing is that it's using your XP bar. So if I give myself some XPs, you can see they pop up in the XP bar. You can see the number still shows how many levels you have. But shortly after you gathered some new XP, you can see there's a little bit of a delay, but then afterwards, then it switches back to the locator bar. This means you can't actually see your current XPs other than your levels unless you're actively taking in some XPs. I find this really strange. Obviously, they're trying to get the most use out of the things that are on screen, because they don't want to have like too many weird things overlaying your character and blocking your view of the game. But I just find this so strange that it's being used for showing your current XP as well as showing you where the nearest players are. Now when you're going for higher levels, like back in the day when you had to go for like 60 levels or 30 levels, it wasn't such a big deal because you just paid attention to the level number. But nowadays, every little bit of XP can be used in order to enchant or repair stuff. So it's often really nice to know if you're getting close to the next level, which will help you decide if you want to like go all the way to like your XP farm in order to get some more levels, or if you just want to kill a couple mobs nearby in order to get to the next full level. But like anything in Minecraft, I think we'll probably get used to this over time. And it seems like more recently, when it comes to the new things that they're adding in the game, they don't really like take feedback as much, as they already put like a lot of time and effort into these features by the time they release them to us, even in the snapshots. Only if there's like really negative feedback do they come in and actually change it out. But something like this, it seems like they've been probably working on this for quite a while, so I don't know if they're going to make any big changes to it. But what do you think of this change? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. With spring break and Easter coming up, you can play with your friends and family just like I have for my Minecraft viewer server, all thanks to Bisect Hosting. If you use code RAY or my link in the description, you'll even get 25% off. I appreciate every one of you who've used this, and hopefully playing with others keeps Minecraft enjoyable. Now watch me figure out the new best bone meal farms with the recent player list plant growing changes over at my Twitch livestream, and this is my live streaming schedule if you ever want to catch me in the future. I'll see you over there. Bye bye!